Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back. My name is Anne. Today's video I'll be showing you how to make this underbars corset belt. So let's get straight to the tutorial. So guys, these are the materials that we are going to be using for this tutorial. So I have my plain fabric, which is going to be for the lining. I have my African print. I have two bias. I'll decide on which one to use. My tape rule, pair of scissors, my chalk, and then my hair stay. So let's get straight to the tutorial. So guys, I have my pattern. We are going to be drafting this pattern first. Okay, so I'm taking this as my shoulder line. From my shoulder line, I'll go down to my bust point, which is 10 inches, to my under bust, which is 13 inches, and then to my waistline, which is 16 inches. Go ahead and then straight that out. So guys, after that, I went ahead and then labeled the part. That's my bust line, my under bust, and then my waistline. Okay, so I'll go ahead and then calculate for my chest line, and that's my bust line divided by 6 inches plus 1.5 inches gives me 8 inches. So that is what I'm marking. Mind you guys, this the chest line or the full bodies does not make any relevance to this, but then I just want to make this as a guide for you to know the part that we are working for to get our underbars corset belt. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that of my across back. That is my shoulder to shoulder measurement. That's what I marked and then connected it to that of my chest line. I'll come down by 1 inch and then mark 3.5 for my neckline, and then I'll go ahead and join that together. That's my shoulder slope. After that, I'll go ahead and mark that of my armhole. Okay guys, like I said, this is just a guide for us to be to be able to know where we are working with on the pattern. So having done that, I'll go ahead and mark that of my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'll mark that of my nipple to nipple measurement, divide it by 2, and then connect them. So go down from your bust line 1 inch like so. Go down from your bust point 1 inch like so. And then on my waistline, I'm going to go ahead and then mark 1/2 inch both on the nipple to nipple measurement on the waistline, and then connect it to that of the 1 inch that is marked after the bust line to create our dart. So I measured from my bust line to my under bust line, so I have 3 inches. I just remarked or connected that line together. So I marked that and I had 3 inches. So I'll mark that 3 inches on both sides of my bust point, which had the nipple to nipple measurement. Okay guys, I'll then use my curve ruler to join this to join the points together like so. I'll use my curve ruler to join. If you don't have a curve ruler, just try and use your free hand to curve that. So guys, remember this is not a full corset. This is just an underbars corset belt. Okay guys, so after achieving this, I'll go ahead and mark my bust measurement divided by 4 and come to my waistline and mark that of my waist measurement also divided by 4. Add the 1 inch dart and then add 1 inch allowance to it. I'll go ahead and add 1 inch allowance to my bust line as well and connect the lines together. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Even if you don't understand, please watch the video carefully and you understand me. Okay, so from here I'll go ahead and then trim this out. This is the front part of our corset belt. This is the front part of our corset belt. Now before I trim out the caps, I'll go ahead and use that to cut that of our back parts of the corset. So I just marked that this is our center front and the side. So I went ahead and pinned this down to this. I've already marked 1 inch zipper allowance. That is if you want to add zipper to that. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and then pin this. and trace this out on the back part of the corset. So guys, after cutting the back part out, I'll go ahead and trace out the dart line and then mark that of the dart for the back part of this corset belt. So guys, you can go ahead and then give this the back part of your corset belt a slant like this. If you want, you can go down by like 1 inch or 1.5 inch and then slant it this way, or you can better still use it as it is. So guys, I went ahead and then use it as it is. So guys, I'll go ahead and then cut out the back part of the corset and that of the front part of the corset. I mean the dart areas and the necessary parts that need to be cut out. Like the back part, I labeled this as my center back, and then this is the side of the back. So I'll go ahead and cut out the dart areas for the front part of the corset belt as well. So guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, click on the notification bell, like this video and then share this video. Leave a comment on any part of the video that I didn't understand. Okay guys, so I'm done with cutting out the dart areas on this. So this my front part and this my back part. Okay, so I'm going to be using loops for this, so I'm not necessarily going to be needing the other parts of the back side of the corset belt. So this is all the patterns that I need for now. So guys, for here, I'll fold the fabric and then cut out the front parts of the corset belt and then cut the rest of the pieces of the patterns on fold as well. So guys, like I said earlier, make sure that your center front part of the corset belt is on fold while cutting, and then the rest of the pieces of the pattern should also be cut double. I mean, you should have 2 pieces for each of the patterns you have. So guys, if you notice, you realize that I added 1/2 inch allowance to all the sides on the pattern, exception of the top area, exception of the top parts of the pattern. So guys, this is how it looks. That's my center front and that's the sides for the center or the front part of the corset belt, and this is the back parts of it. 2 pieces for each, exception of the center front, which is cut on fold. So this is how it looks like. I'll go ahead and then apply my hairstay to all of them. I'll cut the same pieces for that of my plain fabric of my lining as well. I'll cut the same pieces for my lining as well, or the plain fabric that I'm using, and then apply my hairstay to all the pieces that I have. All the pieces that I have. So guys, this is it after applying my hairstay on them. That's the plain fabric or the lining for this. Okay guys, so I'll go ahead and then join them like this. Remember, I added 1/2 inch allowance to the size, so that's what I'm marking. I'll join them like so. I'll make sure to pin them. I'll make sure to pin it and then attach the other side to the center front as well and pin it and join them with 1/2 inch. Let me take to the sewing machine and then come back. So this is it. After joining them, I went ahead and then opened the seam up and flat ironed it. I'll go ahead and add the back parts of the corset. To remember, we added 1 inch seam allowance to this, so that's what I marked out. I pinned it and then take it to the sewing machine and join that as well. So this is it. I'll trim off the excess of the sides and then open the seam up and flat iron it as well. Okay guys, so this is how it looks like after I flat ironed it. This is how it looks like. So guys, this is something simple. Practice more and then you'll be able to make this more. I went ahead and did the same thing for the plain fabric that I have. I flipped it over to the right side of it and then decided on the bias that I'm going to be using. So I chose the white bias. So I'm going to locate the center or the middle of the center front part of the corset and then mark that out. You can also better still fold them like this and then flat iron it to get the middle part, of it. After getting that, I'm going to place my bias on it like this and pin it down. I'll place my bias on it like this and pin it down. So I also go ahead and then add my bias to that of the joinings on the corset belt as well, all the joinings. And then if you don't want your bias to be showing on the right side of your fabric, you can do it at the back or the wrong side of your fabric. I then went ahead and then mark from the end. I marked in 1 inch like so and mark it just as you see. I'll do same for the other end of my corset belt like so. I'll be placing some of my boning cases there, so I place my bias there as well. So these are my boning cases for the boning. So I'll take it to the sewing machine and then stitch it down on the corset belt. So this is how it came out after stitching it down on the joinings and then on the ends of the corset belt. So guys, this is my boning. This is my plastic boning. This is very important when it comes to certain things like this. If you don't have your boning, I don't know how this corset is going to be. I don't know the way to put it across. Okay, so let's move on. Now, to be able to place your boning in this, you have to make sure that your boning is 1 inch lesser or shorter than that of your boning case. You need to make sure that your boning is 1 inch lesser than that of your boning case. So the 1/2 inch will be for the seam allowance on both the top part and then the down part of it. So after cutting my boning, I make sure to bend the edges to make the sharpie ends smooth out. You can use your lighter if you have that. I used candle if that's what you have. Use whatever that you have. So I'll do same for all the joinings, all the cases on it. I'll make sure they are all shorter by 1 inch. They are all shorter by 1 inch of the boning casing. Then cut them out, bend the edges, and then place them in like I'm doing. Okay, as you be placing your bonings in it, you realize that it will start to bend. That's normal because of how the boning comes out. It will bend, but never mind. After placing all of them in, you go ahead and then flat iron this, and this will make it flat after ironing it. So guys, this is how it came out after I flat ironed it. So this is the plain fabric that we have. I'll place them on each other with the right side facing each other like so, and then take it to my sewing machine and then sew all the way around like so with 1/2 of an inch. Like I said, that's the essence of the 1/2 inch allowance that we left both on the top and and the down part of the corset. So I went ahead and then gave it some notches like so. I went ahead and then gave it some notches as so, and then turn this out, and then turn this out. So guys, now the cap area, I'll go ahead and then measure all the way around and then use that to cut that of my boning. If you have your bra bone, you can use that. If you don't have that and you have this plastic boning, you can use that in place of it. So make sure to cut exactly the measurements that I have at the cap and then place it in like this. This is very difficult, I might say, especially if you're using a manual machine just as I'm doing. It's going to be tough, but you have to try and do it if you really want this out. If you really want this to come out beautiful. So that's it. After I place the plastic boning in it and then try as much as I can to sew it round. You will do this for both sides of the cap areas. Make sure to cut the same measurements of the cap area as that of the plastic boning. So this is it. This is how it came out after I placed that of the plastic boning in it. Okay guys, so another task. So we are going to turn this to the wrong side again like so, and then join both the Ankara fabric and then the plain fabric together like so, and then join them with half of an inch all the way down. Join them with half of an inch all the way down. So this is it after I joined them. So another task, we are going to be turning this out, and I must say this is difficult. Try as you can to take this out. I won't lie to you, this is very difficult because of the plastic bonings that we placed in the boning cases. It makes this difficult when you are going to turn this out. So try as you can to pull this out. Kudos to you. So guys, this is it. After I turn it out, I must confess this is not as easy as you saw it. This is difficult, but try as much as you can to accomplish it. So after that, I folded in the sides like so. I folded in like half of an inch and then flat ironed it. I'll do it for both sides of the belt. I just folded in half inch. So guys, I got my loops. I just folded my bias like so and then top stitch it to get this. So I cut this into 2 inches long, and then I'll fold it in like so and then place it inside the sides openings that we have. I'll make sure I have some spaces, like 1.5 spaces in between that. So I'm going to place 4 of the loops on each of the sides of the belt. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just watch what I'm doing and you'll definitely understand. So this is what I mean. I had 4 of the loops on both sides. Then I took to the same machine and then top stitched this to join them in the belt. Okay guys, so that's done. I'm going to get my strap. This is how I'm going to get a strap. I folded in the size like this and place it like so, and then top stitch it to get my strap. So this is my strap. This is how I'm lacing it. This is our corset belt. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe, like this video. Bye.